I want to start with when I read the first chapter. Within the first paragraphs, you start attacking the notion of the Taíno, and I was like, yes, because that's something I've been trying to do myself here. A lot of times, people, we try to pigeonhole this group of indigenous people that were present in the Caribbean, and we call them the Taíno. And in fact, they were not the Taíno. It's just a lot of different ethnicities
Mhm.
who were cohabitating these spaces in this region, but they weren't a homogeneous group of people that we today still call the Taino, and that is something that archaeologists have been trying to fight as well. Can you tell us about more about that?
Yes, I'm so glad you opened that way because to me also, I teach a class called Modern Caribbean History and I teach Modern Caribbean Cultural Studies as well. And we
Mm,
start with the Caribbean before Columbus, the book, the Keegan and Hoffman book, two archaeologists, in which they really strongly make this case that, like you, this has been sort of a bee in my bonnet, if so to speak, for a number of years because anthropologists and archaeologists have been saying, that this is not the correct terminology to use, that these are European invented terms for one thing. And the other thing is that we're taking groups of people who lived across wide spans of geography and collapsing them because it's easier to do so, not because it's more historically accurate or because it provides a richer historical and cultural understanding. And, this really, I just finished my colleague Ned Blackhawk's book about Native American history as sort of the foundation and to really understanding U.S. history, not as a side note, not as something that's additive. And he, in the
right.
beginning of that book, has a beautiful map of the United States and all the different groups broken
Oh.
down by, you can see the states that would be the states today that they would be in. And how can we imagine that the entire Caribbean archipelago, South America, are all Taínos and Arawaks and Caribs, Carib being the most problematic of all those terms.
Hmm.
It's not possible, and it doesn't show the kind of respect that most of us are going for when we bring in pre-Columbus history. It's because we want to honor that history and show respect for it, that it's not just anything that happened after Columbus is important, but that starts with what did the people in these regions call themselves? And if we don't know that, it's, I think, okay to say we don't know. Even though we know the five main principalities, for example, of the island of Haiti, La Española, renamed by the Spanish crown, of course, we
Hmm.
actually, did they refer to themselves as Zaragoans? I don't know, but I think that it is better than saying Taíno and Arawak, or cacique, which just means leader. But a lot of people, I know in Spanish it's cacique, think that that's an ethnic term when it really just speaks to the person who was in charge.